Right, you're live on JoyNews today. Let's begin with the Electoral Commission, which says it has taken practical steps, including the provision of chairs at the overcrowded centers to cut back on the disregard for the social distancing protocols. At a news conference, Deputy Commissioner Samuel Tete said a constitutional instrument which will mature very soon will allow students to transfer their votes wherever they may be on December 7.
The Accra Metropolis, the Tema, and as chairman and its environs, where observing social distance is still a challenge to the Commission. However, there are several measures that we have actually put in place, and this, in a way, has gone a long way to address these challenges. We have also asked our district electoral officers to educate the general public on various platforms on the need to observe the social distance rule. And we have all our officers who on the stations, FM stations, and all that, educating the general public on the strict adherence to the safety protocols as well as the social distance rule. In addition, the Commission has vehicles that we have mounted our PA systems, and DEOs are using the public address system to educate the public. They embark upon dawn broadcast, and this is also yielding fruitful results. The Commission has made provision for additional chairs for applicants to sit on at the registration centers. And at centers where we have overcrowding, the Commission has increased the number of chairs to 200 and above. An example of such place or centers is what we have in Odododiodo. It has been a center where we have so many people in the queue, and the Commission has made available enough chairs for them to sit on to address this issue of social distance. The Commission has also, in collaboration with the security agencies, made known this challenge of social distance challenge, and the security agencies, as a result of the collaboration, have intensified their efforts, and their efforts have also yielded positive results, and we are seeing improvement in the social distance rule. Earlier, we also indicated the assistance from the nurses from the Ghana Health Service who are manning the temperature guns. They have also intensified their efforts in educating all those who get to the centers, as well as helping to enforce the safety protocols and the social distance rule. The Commission has always been hammering on one major measure which it instituted to address this social distance challenge, and this is the queue management system. As a reminder, this measure, we've always been saying, is to deal with overcrowding at the registration centers. The explanation is very simple. The first 150 applicants who arrive at the registration center will be provided with numbered kits.
But 4 more persons who died of coronavirus have been buried under strict supervision at the COVID-19 burial site at the Awodome Cemetery. Coordinator and supervisor of the burials in the Greater Accra region, Joseph Abugwe Asetanga, tells JoyNews persons who die of coronavirus do not have the luxury of tombstones, as their bodies are buried in unmarked graves. He warns more deaths are likely to happen if Ghanaians continue to deny the existence of the virus. Maxwell Agbagba had exclusive access to the COVID-19 burial site and now reports.
Final burial rites and funerals play a huge role in bringing closure, especially to persons who have lost their loved ones. But have you ever imagined what it is like to lose a family member or a friend without being able to see their face for the last time after their bodies leave the morgue? Well, that is what most family members of persons who died of COVID-19 experience. The siren of the hearse carrying 4 people who died of coronavirus to the Abudome cemetery. Environmental officers fully dressed in their protective clothing are sitting in the bucket of one of the pickups. In there is a bucket full of the chlorine they used in disinfecting the remains at the morgue. In the convoy too are family members of the dead who do not want to be identified. This is because of stigma.
And this is the burial site for COVID-19, and when you come here, you see this big signage here, burial site for COVID-19. And this is the point where we go to the burial site. I see writing, I don't know if you heard Mr. Sitanga, he's telling me that we shouldn't capture any of the family members. And of course, you know, the stigmatization, the stigma that comes with COVID-19. We've been trying to fight this, but it looks the case that a lot of people are still stigmatizing others with COVID-19. I don't know whether to call it stigma or precaution. From my experience, just when we're coming here, we went to the morgue where the bodies were collected, the remains were collected, and there I was very thirsty, so I tried to go and get water from one of the shops very close, one of the convenience stores very close to the morgue. The moment the lady who was selling the water saw me in this PPE, she told me not to get close to her. She told me not to come closer and that she doesn't have water, she can't sell water to me. But then I was in this full PPE. I mean, you can say it is precaution, but there's some element of stigma also in there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
That was last week.
Here at this burial site, I have met the man who disinfects the bodies before they are taken from the morgue. He has disinfected more than 40 bodies. For fear of being stigmatized, he only agreed to speak to me on condition of anonymity.
For now, I don't have the total number here, but we've done over 40. For now, I don't have the total body now. So the disinfection procedure is one of the key elements that we do in a way of we, the team members, we are also protecting the burial team. So this is a technical thing that we do to protect each and every one that have a direct contact with the coffin from the morgue up to the cemetery. That is the environmental health officers, that's our duty. So for us, the infectious body, we've been doing it for some time. You understand? So this is the COVID body, but this is a procedure that we use for any infectious body. So for the disinfection, that's the standard that we used to do. Every surfaces, the peripheral surfaces that we touch, we have to disinfect every surface. So from the coffin, every handle that we touch from there, we have to disinfect it to protect the team, the disinfection team that will protect those that they are doing the burial, that none of us will get into contact with the COVID-19 virus.
One prominent feature of all cemeteries are tombstones with names of the dead beautifully engraved on them as a way of showing final respect. But family members of COVID-19 victims cannot do that for their loved ones. They are buried in unmarked graves. Coordinator and supervisor of the COVID-19 burials, Joseph Asitanga, has been explaining to me why they are stripped of that privilege.
We don't allow block work on the COVID bodies,
why is that?
Infectious bodies.
Okay.
Yes, why is that when we put block work and cement the grave, it retards easy decomposition of the body.
Okay.
And the possibility of collection and evaporation of whatever organism that is there to also come to cause more sickness. So when we bury them on the earth ground, earth burial. One thing is that we are adopting something now. All the graves here, for the purpose of stigmatization, we did not allow labeling and naming of the graves.
Okay.
Yes, because when you get stand here, you see the COVID site for COVID burial. So when we come to put somebody's name here, so and so, on the grave here, it remains forever. Possibly in the grandchildren who are likely to come up. One day may be stigmatized that, oh, our father died out of this particular disease that hacked the country some time ago. And that can even go down by stigmatizing and making people to even get scared with that particular family. We try as much as best as possible to prevent labeling and naming the graves. Such that after the burial, if you want to come here, you still need to seek permission from the MPH, the Metro Public Health Department. And we don't even allow you to come here because once you've come to identify the grave and this is where they laid your family member to rest, that ends it. The gate is under key and locked. You cannot have access here. Yes.
So if you want access, you need permission from you?
Access is not even permitted to any family member to come and inspect anything here.
So how do the family members, if they want, I mean, some kind of coping mechanisms, just want to walk towards the grave, how do they identify the graves where their relatives were buried?
It is a protection to the family that government, for that matter, where the burial team of the various district assemblies is protecting the family. So infectious site, no VOC, no block work. We do earth burials. Yes.
Okay, great. And so last week you buried how many bodies?
As an indicator, we buried 47. It's almost 48. We have not yet buried the last one.
So last week you buried about 6 here. You told me. So this is one of the sites. It has not been covered?
Yeah, these are fresh earth, fresh graves waiting for burial. All these are waiting
all these are fresh graves waiting for burial?
Waiting for burials. So when you look after the fresh graves, all these are burials. Ahead, all that is burials. And this is the Christian site, solely for the Christian. So from here we go to the Muslim site where we did the other burials. Yes.
Aside from the harsh reality of environmental health officers taking custody of the body and the denial of a typical Ghanaian burial rites, family members are not allowed to see the body when it leaves the morgue under the strict supervision of health authorities. Joseph Asitanga warns of more deaths if Ghanaians continue to deny the existence of the virus.
COVID-19 has come to stay with us, and it is there. It's real. The whole thing is that most of the times we observe the cultural and traditional norms of the various tribes that we come into encounter with. Or else we would have been doing the bare laying of the people from the morgue to the cemetery site for the whole world to see that this disease is real. The perception that the disease is not there, it is not true. Every day, before you are declared as a COVID-19 victim, the doctors will not benefit or take any profit for lying to you that you died out of COVID-19 when it's not COVID-19 that caused your death. So the public should be aware that every day the COVID-19 is killing people. Every day COVID-19, people are dying through COVID-19. And COVID-19 is living with us from where we live to where we do our business, wherever we are moving in our vehicles, whatever business activity, whatever daily activities we do, COVID-19 is moving with us. And therefore, it's better we still continue to understand that the disease is there. And therefore, whatever preventive and protocol measures that are prescribed by WHO, everybody should comply and go by it for us to help reduce the number of deaths that are coming. Because more deaths is likely to occur when we continue to perceive that the disease is not there.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Now, major businesses in the country are switching to virtual platforms in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. That's according to Chief Executive of the Ghana Employers Association, Alex Frimpong. He has been speaking on PM Express about the new realities.
Many of the organizations are now using virtual meetings, which hitherto was unknown. Why? Because if we are going to observe strict social distancing, physical distancing, the business must go on. So, but in whatever location where you find yourself, you should be able to use the platform to contribute to management meetings board meetings, and all other areas that will be required to share ideas on the way forward. Employee community is also becoming very, very important. So many organizations are developing other innovative ideas, creation of WhatsApp groups, improving the intranet facilities to make sure that businesses are in touch with their employees and the other stakeholders.
Mr. Pimpo, just sorry to interrupt a little bit. In terms of the data that you are picking from your members, are more of your members now going virtual?
Sure, a good number of them are going virtual. In addition to that, some of them are also doing job rotation.
Okay.
Maybe 10 people can come to work today, or maybe in a week, another 10 will come, depending upon the size. But we must also understand that not all operations can yield to working from home, the work from home idea. For instance, from a manufacturing concern, the key operatives cannot work from home. They must necessarily be physically present in the factory, but the support and ancillary staff can equally do so. Okay. So even for those who will be standing by the machine, how can you streamline the operations to make sure that those who attend work and are operating the machines, there are new ways of operating to really conform to the standard of physical distancing.
Okay.
So businesses are going through a lot of reviews, simulations to make sure that they are able to cope with the pandemic.
And in other news, travelers on Metro Mass buses in Accra will now be treated to some refreshment courtesy Puma Drinks. Now, this is an initiative between the producers of Puma Drinks, Casapreco Company Limited, and MMT. Now, Casapreco has between March and July supported institutions and individuals in the fight against COVID-19. The latest to benefit, of course, is Metro Mass Transit. We have got more in this report.
Over the years, we've been able to raise more than 1.5 million cedis for the cardio center.
Beginning of the year, before the COVID came in, we were the first company to introduce our hand sanitizers.
The beverage producer Casapreco Company Limited, KCL, has increased its corporate social responsibility during this COVID-19 pandemic. The partnership between Metro Mass and KCL is aimed at attracting commuters to support the transport operator during this COVID-19 pandemic when commercial transport owners are complaining of bad business. For now, passengers within the Accra metropolis will enjoy the Puma drink refreshment. KCL intends to replicate this partnership with MMT in other regions. Commercial Director for KCL, Gerald Bonsu, touches on the need for this partnership.
The reason that we want to partner with the MMT is that as part of our corporate social responsibility, we want to also educate the public on how to be safe out there whilst like in the buses. We advise that they wear their masks, they use KCL hand sanitizer. At the same time, they will also have the experience of getting a free drink, which is the Puma drink in the buses. We want to support Ghana as a whole. The partnership is going to be for a while. I think we'll be around for a while because we don't know when the COVID will be over.
Deputy Managing Director Operations and Technical, Metro Mass Transit, Richard Osei Banfo, who accepted the beverages on behalf of the transport company, underscored the impact of this partnership with Casapreco.
We are there, because se will be a banner yesterday, and can say COVID and do which I'm say a microphone be acquiring him. And no man can be on baby. It's me boy, Emma, Nipa, Sebi, or
We have been engaging some of the first beneficiaries of the Puma Drinks and MMT partnership. Chris Ado-Sarkodie is the sales marketing manager for soft drinks and water at KCL.
The government is admonishing us to ensure that we live safely and then try to accommodate these COVID-19 issues. We also believe that as a company, we can only innovate to stay relevant. We have teamed up with Metro Mass Transit to ensure that We can coordinate in terms of the people who are actually boarding the bus and then the consumption activities. And so what we are saying is that if you should find any of these branded buses, the long ones I should say, that means that it's your lucky day.
The Kolebu Teaching Hospital, 37 Military Hospital, Information Ministry, Meisha Palace, among others, have so far benefited from Casapreco's COVID-19 support. Before Ghana recorded her first 2 cases of the fast-spreading COVID-19, Casapreco was the indigenous beverage company to produce affordable hand sanitizers in the country when prices of the product hit the roof.
And that's all in business. More coming up on the marketplace at the top of the hour. My name is Daryl Carr. Stay tuned.
From their participation in the 2016 AFCON in Cameroon, the team received a part payment of $25,000, which was combined per diem and bonuses when they returned from the tournament. However, they are yet to receive the remaining monies. Nielante van der Poy has revealed a petition has been served to the Parliamentary Select Committee for Sports to intervene.
Well, I'm not at the ministry. Let me say some of these, I want to be as truthful as possible. By the time I was leaving the ministry, we don't owe any of the male teams, but we were owing some of the female teams. We were owing the Black Queens. We paid a lot of them. We paid the amount we were owing, partly of the amount we were owing the Black Princess. And I think what was outstanding was the Black Satellites, because they had a competition to play before I left the ministry. So we've received petition here from the Black Queens. Their representative came to Parliament. They came and they submitted a petition to us. They told us that the current Deputy Minister for Information, who was then the Deputy Minister for Sports, told them that some of those monies were owed by the NDC government, so they are not going to pay. I didn't know that the girls were playing for the NDC government. I thought they were playing for Ghana. So I was surprised. I felt, I told the girls I don't believe he said that, but he said that. If he said that, that's very myopic, and that should tell you who he is.
Mr. van der Poy questioned government's commitment to the women's game, asking why the Black Stars, who participated in the 2019 African Cup of Nations a year late after the Black Queens hosted the rest of Africa in the women's division of AFCON, but were paid all monies due them.
We came to inherit a debt from the Kufuor government. When I got to the ministry, the account of the ministry has been garnished as a result of the failure of the Kufuor administration to pay for works that were done by the contractors who developed our stadia for Ghana CAN 2008. You understand? So we inherited it. We paid some, we couldn't pay all. So if you have come to power and you've inherited debt, you have to do well to settle the debt. Let me ask you a question. The Black Princess were involved in a tournament, or the Black Queens were involved in a tournament before the Black Stars played their qualifying, the last qualifying match. Why are they not owing the Black Stars and they are owing the Black Queens? Because what? The Black Stars are more special.
The Black Queens are owed a little over $12,000 per Joy Sports checks.
To some international stories, and what everyone is talking about is the Champions League draw, which just took place in Portugal on earlier today. And from the fixtures, we could see some possibly intriguing matches in the quarterfinal, the semi-final, and the final as well. Cristiano Ronaldo and Juventus could face Real Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinal as the draw for the rest of the tournament was made. But Madrid, remember, trail Manchester City in their unfinished business. Bayern Munich would look likely to face either Barcelona or Napoli as they hold a 3-0 commanding lead over Chelsea, while debutants Atalanta would face Paris Saint-Germain. Meanwhile, RB Leipzig would play Atletico Madrid after both teams knocked out Premier League opposition in the last 16. Now, with the route through to the final, all the way to the final, fans can now look forward to some potentially huge clashes in the final. For Madrid could face Barcelona in the Clásico semi-final, with Pep Guardiola also potentially up against one of his former sides in Barca or Bayern. That's if City make it through. Now remember, the remaining last 16 second leg ties would be concluded over August 7th and August 8th before the quarterfinals are played over 4 days in Portugal beginning August 12th. The semi-finals will take place on August 18th and 19th, with the final at the Benfica Stadium on August 23. Some potentially intriguing fixtures that we could be served with in the Champions League, but that's how we'll be ending the sports segment here. My name is Oreko Ampofu.
Why? But he was on his, he did his song, no yes?
Yeah, exactly. So, but E40 is a very hardcore hip-hop
so what do you call
West Side rapper. Sarkodie makes music like Lucky and this escapes me.
Danny
the one with
Boy.
Do You with
Danny
Mr.
Boy.
Easy.
Okay.
I mean, come on, it's very hard. He should.
So you think that it's not a good choice?
I think E40 is a great artist, and he definitely has his fans here in town. But I just think that it's so hardcore.
Who should have been?
I don't know. Someone more R&B, you know. It's just very hard music. Like, you know, E40 is like a headmaster of hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I know, I understand.
Yeah,
which is the reason why he wanted to feature him.
I know, of course, because his first international feature was Ace Hood.
Ace Hood, yeah.
So that was another very hardcore hip hop rapper.
I think he has his own, you know, goals, targets.
Yeah,
he's
can understand.
Working towards that.
E40 really suck.
Danny, let's talk about Obo. Few musicians, some friends in the industry decided to visit Obo. You know, his dad died and he lost the elections and all that. So just to pay a visit to him and find out from Obo how exactly he's doing.
Say Ayiko to you by Soseko 4. I mean, it's not easy to venture into this political thing and all that. I mean, as young as you are, you're bold enough to say, yo, I'm going for it. I mean, for me, for first time, you know, competing with contesting with an incumbent who's been there for so many years. Now, Uchimi come out with, you know, that vote you're able to pull out. I mean, we say Ayiko to you.
It's really sad that when his dad died, we didn't get the opportunity as musicians to come and do the whole pump and plunder to let people know that we support Kwabena. And then also, he's done something that I am not that old, so I don't know, but I don't think any musician in Ghana has ever tried to become an MP before. And I think that we should say it on record, that Obo is blazing the trail. He's doing so many things that we've never seen before.
I and Omania Champon, we went there, we fought together, and even we thought our man is coming to become an MP. They sprayed him a lot of powder. What we think, everything is okay. But we didn't know, maybe there was a political arm twist somewhere, I don't even know. Later, we came to know that he has lost.
But what I have personally, I always tell people that I want to pick from Obo is his calmness. Because I remember very vividly the nights of the Ghana Music Awards when the brouhaha happened. I was seated about 4 rows behind, he was seated in the front, and everything was happening, the whole place was, everybody was, and I was looking at Obo, I was just there like that. I was like, how is this man so calm under any situation? Like, no matter what it is, he's just there like, I think it happens to people who are solution-oriented.
I don't know where to start and where to end. Well, I just want to say that I've known Obo for a very long time. And for me, Obo is a leader. Take it or leave it. I mean, I thought I was one of the hardest guys, you know, within our nest. But growing up, you know, when I met Obo and after some few years, I realized that there was another tough skanker.
Well, Danny.
Right, we all felt bad for Obuo.
Yes.
After he lost that election.
And I think what the musicians did was just the right thing to do to, you know.
I was glad to see that they were observing social distancing.
Yeah.
All of them had their face masks on, even though, yeah, the spacing could have been better, but it was good to see that effort was being made. Yeah. So, better luck next time, Obuo, and root for. You know, he went to Fansfilm. So.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's an Fansfilm boy. So.
Good for you.
It's always been special, special person.
For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. Danny?
Up next is the marketplace. And this is where we say goodbye for this week's Joy News Today. My name is Daniel. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Monday with another bulletin. Bye-bye.